Hello, hi, it's the Rev Pipster here. I've been talking to someone on the King James Only issue regarding this video about James White being a hidden Luciferian. I've had a revelation which I believe comes from God. And I had to thank my dear brother in Christ, the King James Onlyist, David Masso. And I'm going to make my coffee here. Right, you see, this is it. You see, he's come across and he said, the devil's changing the Bible. Which is why we have all these modern English translations. I've been studying English at university for over 3 years now. Just received my diploma. I haven't seen this before. But the devil hasn't changed the Bibles. No, he hasn't, no. He's changed English. You see, in Genesis, after the flood, man rebelled again. They built this tower and they waterproofed it. The idea was to build a tower high enough and watertight enough so that if God flooded the earth again, yeah, it would be water resistant. And God said, if they get together, they'll believe they can do anything. So he changed the language. He changed the languages at Babel. So there would never be a one world language. But every empire has come along. They've always had this example. They've tried to impose a language in places, get people speaking the same. Until finally, Alexander the Great came along. The Westerners where the Antichrist is going to have his main power from. And he created, a pagan man created Koine Greek. Developed it so that all his armies could speak Greek, and then when they invaded countries, everywhere there would speak Greek as the language. And then the Romans came along, and they had Latin and Greek, and they increased Greek even more, so that everyone spoke a similar language. And then of course Christ came and he got crucified, and the army of Satan was pushed back a bit, but the promise was still there. And the promise was there that a king from the east would come, an oriental king would come and fight the Antichrist. So you have the Antichrist would have a world language, and the Oriental king would have a world language, and of course the Muslims impose Arabic. They would come from the south primarily to attack Jerusalem. Okay, this is a picture of what's going to happen. So you've got a couple of groups of one world languages, but from the east, this Oriental king, and in the east is a country called Singapore. And you see, the Westerners all speak English. You know, English is the standard language of the European Union. It's the language of the Americas. It's the number one lingua franca in the whole world. And English is being changed since the publication of the King James Bible, which is why when you pick up the 1611 King James Bible, it's different from the English we speak today. The spelling's different. The grammar's slightly different. The pronunciations are different. But English is still changing, and you've got these one world governments coming up, and the thing that's going to be uniting them is going to be English, which is why when Jesus returns, they're all going to sort of fight each other at the Battle of Armageddon. They're all going to unite together to fight the Messiah. And it's going to be English that's going to allow them to do it. But have you not noticed in Singapore, a powerful financial Far Eastern country, Singapore, or should that be Singapore? There was this growing popular language called Singlish. But look at the spelling though. It's Sinlish. You've got the countries in Western Europe, in Europe and stuff. The linguists now are trying to change the language. So it's not. Because they say there's so many Englishes around, let's call it Globish. You know, we've seen Left Behind and what's the that other one, at the moment after, or whatever it's called. Yeah, the moment after, where they say go global, globish, and then you've got east. You've got singlet. No, it's spelt S-I-N. Lish, sin lish. I had this revelation. That's why Sam Gipp is keep talking about English being dumbed down. It's because the devil is changing English. Can't you see the spelling? Sin-lish. It's being changed to sin-lish. That's why there's so many Bible translations. Not because the Bible translations are wrong. It's because the language is wrong. The language is evil. Right, you get it? What are we going to do? Peter Ruckman, Sam Gibb, what are we going to do about the English language? See, that's why, I mean, that's why God protected the King James only movement. It hasn't allowed, he hasn't allowed linguists to have influence over the King James onlyists. That's why there were no English teachers, because it contradicts the whole thing about translation and stuff, the whole building blocks of the English language, and when it comes to English communicating with other people. And that's why English has always evolved from language of English, but God blessed the early modern English. That was the language. We all know that is the language God speaks. Right? Yes. God isn't. The devil's not changing the Bibles. I think God's behind the new languages, the new Bibles, the new additions to language, because His grace and mercy is still there to save to the uttermost, so that the people speaking the sinful, devil-perverted language of English that we speak today, the globish, okay, Peter Tulin, I think his name is, and Walter Pope and all the other linguists and stuff, David Crystal and stuff, know all about this. But they're not trying to stop it, are they? Yes, but God has kept this going. And so really, we King James onlyists, because I've got a 1611 King James Bible, and I know the different spellings and stuff. We should be getting people to go back to that. I don't actually believe that. We should be getting people to go back to that, get this frigging Latin influence out of the English language, because it was only put in there so that English people could fit in Europe by being more Latinised, by being more classical, rather than having the Germanic influences on our pronunciations and the French influences. They wanted some more Latin stuff anyway. That's another point. No, but that's it. The devil is changing the English language and changing it for centuries. And the new Bible versions, it's not the translations which are wrong, it's the language that's being used. It's the language that's being used that's wrong. And we're going about it all wrong. So there you go. The devil is changing English. Yeah. Sin-lish. Yeah. Yeah. Come on. Most of the Gil Whitpligger's book is all based on spellings and stuff, so I'm justified as well. And I've got a diploma. A university diploma in English. Yes. Yeah, that's what it is. It's not the Bibles that's being changed, it's the language that's being changed by the devil.